Have you ever felt that the more you care about someone, the more they seem to pull away? It's a confusing and painful experience. Maybe you sent a thoughtful message and it was left unread for days. Or you planned a perfect surprise, only to be met with a lukewarm reaction. You start to wonder, what did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? It feels like you're pouring all your love into a bucket with a hole in it. I remember this happening with a close friend of mine. Let's call her Sarah. We were inseparable, and I truly valued our friendship. When she was going through a tough time, I made it my mission to be her rock. I'd check in on her multiple times a day, offer advice, and even clear my schedule just in case she needed me. I thought I was being the best friend possible. But then, something strange started to happen. My calls would go to voicemail more often. My texts would get short, one-word replies. Plans we made would suddenly get canceled. It felt like a wall was being built between us, brick by brick, and I couldn't understand why. The more I tried to break it down, the higher it seemed to get. I was heartbroken and confused. My good intentions were somehow pushing her away. It took me a long time to understand what was really going on. It wasn't about me not being a good enough friend. It was about how my care was being expressed. Today, we're going to dive deep into this common relationship dynamic. We'll analyze why this happens, what to do, what not to do, and how you can build healthier, more balanced connections without losing yourself in the process. So, why do people pull away when you show them a lot of care? The first reason is that it can feel suffocating. Imagine someone constantly adjusting your pillow while you're trying to sleep. They mean well, but you just want some space to get comfortable on your own. In relationships, constant check-ins, unsolicited advice, and an overwhelming presence can feel like that. It strips away the other person's sense of autonomy. They might feel like they don't have the space to breathe, make their own choices, or even process their own feelings without your input. Your care, when it's too intense, can inadvertently signal a lack of trust in their ability to handle their own life. It can feel less like support and more like control. Another key reason is the pressure of reciprocation. When you give and give and give, it can create an unspoken expectation. The other person might feel a heavy burden to match your level of intensity and care. If they can't or don't want to, they can start to feel guilty or inadequate. This discomfort can make them withdraw because avoiding the situation feels easier than constantly feeling like they're falling short. Your grand gestures of love might feel like a debt they can't repay, and that's an incredibly stressful position to be in. Let's talk about a concept called emotional fusion. This is when your sense of self becomes so entangled with the other person's that their happiness becomes your sole responsibility. When you're fused, your mood skyrockets when they're happy and plummets when they're upset. You might start trying to solve all their problems, not just to help them, but to manage your own anxiety. People can sense this. They feel that your care isn't just about them. It's about your own need to feel needed and in control. This can feel manipulative, even if it's unintentional, and it as a natural human instinct to pull away from that kind of dynamic to reclaim one's own emotional independence. Think about it from their perspective. Your constant worry might feel like you're projecting your own anxieties onto them. Your solutions might feel like you're invalidating their own problem-solving skills. Your love, in this form, becomes less of a gift and more of a demand. A demand for their attention, for their validation, and for them to feel a certain way so that you can feel okay. So, what should you do when you notice someone pulling away? Here's the do list. First, do take a step back. I know it's the hardest thing to do when your instinct is to move closer, but it's crucial. Give them space. This doesn't mean giving them the silent treatment or disappearing. It means easing up on the intensity. Let them initiate contact. Let there be some silence. Space allows them to miss you and to process their own feelings without your influence. It shows that you trust them and respect their need for autonomy. Second, do focus on yourself. When you're over-caring for someone else, it's often a sign that you're under-caring for yourself. Reconnect with your own hobbies, friends, and goals. What did you love to do before this person became the center of your universe? Go do that. When you have a full, vibrant life of your own, your happiness isn't solely dependent on one person's reactions. You become more attractive and less needy because your sense of self-worth comes from within, not from their validation. Your care becomes a genuine offering, not a desperate plea. Third, do practice active listening instead of active fixing. When they do talk to you, just listen. Don't jump in with solutions or tell them what they should do. Ask questions like, "That sounds really tough. How are you feeling about it?" Or, "Is there anything you need from me right now?" Sometimes people just want to be heard and understood, not saved. Giving them the space to talk without judgment is one of the most powerful forms of care you can offer. Now, let's cover the don't list. First and foremost, don't demand an explanation or confront them aggressively. Phrases like, "Why are you ignoring me?" or "What did I do wrong?" put them on the defensive and add even more pressure. It makes the situation about your feelings of rejection rather than their need for space. This will almost certainly push them further away. Second, don't try to win them back with grand gestures. If they're pulling away because they feel overwhelmed, buying them an expensive gift or planning an elaborate surprise is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It just reinforces the idea that the relationship is high pressure and intense. The solution isn't more, it's less. The solution is calm, steady, and secure energy. And finally, don't fall into the trap of self-blame. It's easy to spiral into thinking, "I'm too much," or "I'm unlovable." Remember, this dynamic is about a mismatch in needs and communication styles, not a flaw in your character. Your capacity to care deeply is a beautiful quality. It's not the what, it's the how. The goal isn't to stop caring. It's to learn how to care in a way that feels like a warm hug, not a tight cage. So how do you handle this in the future? The key is to shift from attachment to attunement. Attachment is about clinging. Attunement is about being in sync. To be attuned, you need to pay attention to the other person's signals. Do they seem energized or drained after talking to you? Do they initiate contact as often as you do? Relationships are like a dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. If you're always leading, always pushing, the other person never gets a chance to step toward you. Let's go back to my story with Sarah. After I gave her some space, something amazing happened. About a week later, she called me. She told me she had been feeling incredibly overwhelmed and just needed some time to herself. She apologized for being distant. By stepping back, I had given her exactly what she needed. Our friendship found a new, healthier rhythm after that. I learned to ask, "Hey, just checking in. No need to reply if you are busy. which took all the pressure off. I learned to listen to her vent without immediately trying to fix her life. I learned that my role as a friend was to walk alongside her, not to carry her. The lesson here is profound. True care is about honoring the other person's needs, even when those needs offer space from you. It's about having a strong enough sense of self to not take their need for autonomy personally. Healthy love is empowering. It encourages growth and independence. It's a support system, not a life support system. So, if you recognize yourself in this pattern, take a deep breath. You are not broken. You have a big heart, and that is a gift. Your task is to learn how to offer that gift in a way that the other person can joyfully receive it. Start by giving that same level of intense care to yourself. Fill your own cup first. When you are full, the love that overflows is effortless, generous, and free of expectation. And that is the kind of love that draws people in, instead of pushing them away. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories and your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on building better relationships and a better you. See you in the next one.